I say to you today, my friends, even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the south with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This, I am sure you know to be the great speech of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And he gave his most famous speech, his most transformative speech, on August 28, 1963, at the feet of Abraham Lincoln in the Lincoln Memorial. At the very feet of the President who put forth the Emancipation Proclamation only 100 years earlier. Tomorrow, as you know, we celebrate the birthday of Dr. King. Our schools will shut down. Our banks and government will shut down. For some, the day has become yet another holiday in an expanding sea of holidays. I mean, if you look around the calendar, what day isn't designated to something or other, right? And for others, it will be scoffed at as a day that never used to be a holiday, but now all of a sudden is. Oh, those lucky kids get off of school. Why couldn't we get off of school on Martin Luther King Jr. Day? But my brothers and sisters, this is no holiday in the sense that it represents time off. It is a holy day, a day to be set apart, but not set apart for fun and celebration. Rather, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is a holy day in that it reminds us of the great work that is yet to be done. That even today, justice turns a blind eye to the neediest among us. That justice turns a blind eye to bigotry, discrimination, and oppression. This is no time to sit back because Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream has not yet been realized. We act as if because it was a great speech all those years ago, as if this dream has become a reality. And yes, we've made progress toward it. But it's not completely a reality. in the broadest of senses. This is no time to sit back, no time to relax. No, my brothers and sisters, this is no time for silence, because it is silence that allowed the oppression to begin with. It is compromise and silence that allowed slavery to exist in a land that was proclaiming freedom for all. It is silence that allowed women to go on for years and years without a vote or without a say. It is silence that allowed people to be killed, beaten up, bullied because of their sexual orientation. It is silence that allowed people to go neglected and hurt in a country that claims that all are free and should have the freedom to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is no time for silence. In today's gospel reading, Jesus is at a wedding, just trying to let loose and trying to have fun, you know? Kind of what weddings are all about, right? Drink a little wine, do a little dancing, wake up with a headache the next day, wonder why you did that in the first place. Jesus is at a wedding trying to let loose, to have a little fun. But you know how it goes. When you plan something, it is guaranteed that something will come up against it and ruin your plan. In this case, they ran out of wine. Now, my friends, what kind of a wedding doesn't have wine, right? What kind of wedding says, yeah, have that glass of water and come out and dance more and dance with me? It should be that way, but what kind of wedding is that way? The wine ran out. So Jesus' mom, being a mom, comes up to Jesus and says, Jesus, just wanted to let you know, the wine has run out, and you can do something about it. But Jesus didn't want to hear that. He wanted to go on having fun. Now wasn't the time for him to stand up and do something great. This wasn't the time. Heck no, he protested. I can't do that, not yet. My time hasn't come. But his mom, as mothers often do, disagreed. She turned to the wine steward. She ignored her son completely, turned to the wine steward and said, do exactly as my son tells you to. In other words, Mary let Jesus know that this was no time for silence. Rather, this was the time to act. How many of us remain silent when we should be out in our communities, representing God, standing up for justice, helping those who are in need, advocating for those who cannot advocate for themselves, empowering the least of these to rise up in the ranks? This is no time for silence. This is no time for our church or any church to sit idly by while others hijack our faith with ungodly hatred and bigotry, with fear and trembling. This, my brothers and sisters, is the time to step up and to step out. This is the time to act on behalf of those who cannot act for themselves. It is the time to live justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God. This is the time for us to be crying out with all the people of God, let your justice roll like the waters. Like the rivers, let it flow. Let freedom ring. Let justice reign. Let not our voices be silent. Let not our actions be quelled. Rather, let our voices echo that of the prophet when he cried out, "For Zion's sake I will not keep silent, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest, until the dawn of her vindication shines out like the dawn, and her salvation like a burning torch." Amen. Gracious and loving God, you have not called us to be a people who are silent. You have not called us to be a people who sit by and allow the status quo to be. You're not calling us to party on while the rest of the world suffers. Rather, Lord, you are calling us to be your voice. You're calling us to be a voice out in the wilderness that cries, "Make straight a way for the Lord. Make his path clear." Lord, too often we want to sit idly by and pretend that the world isn't burning around us. But you have called us to be your stewards of this earth. You've called us to be your caretakers of all of creation. You've called us, Lord, you've called us to be your agents of hope, of healing, and of wholeness, to be your bearers of the kingdom that is to come, that is already here if we would just open ourselves to it. Give us the strength to do your work in this world. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.